In this video, let's talk about the character of Mirage from The Incredibles. She's one of the more mysterious figures in the film, and there's not a lot of detailed information about her. But based on what we do know, we can piece together a pretty interesting picture of who she is. Mirage is often remembered for her calm, collected demeanor and her ability to think things through carefully. She's not just some secondary villain hanging around in the background. She's far more complex than that.
I was just wondering, of all the places to settle down, why live?
With a volcano, he's attracted to power. So am I.
She is smart, and she's all about wealth and power, which is why she teams up with Syndrome, the main antagonist of the movie. While Syndrome is obsessed with getting rid of all superheroes, driven by jealousy and resentment, Mirage's motives are different. She's not just about chaos and destruction, she's more interested in the benefits that come with aligning herself with someone like Syndrome. However, there's a key difference between the two. Syndrome lacks honor entirely, but Mirage does have a sense of it. She's not blindly loyal to him, she's got her own standards. In fact, at the beginning of the movie, you get the sense that she sees Syndrome not just as a leader but also as someone she might be interested in on a personal level, maybe even as a potential lover. This adds a layer of complexity to her character, making her more than just a sidekick to the villain. She's someone who thinks things through, and while she's part of the villainous plot, she's not without her own moral compass. They have a lot in common, especially when it comes to their love for power, manipulation, betrayal, and control. Both of them thrive on being in charge and using others to get what they want. She plays a big role in helping Syndrome by luring superheroes into his deadly traps on the island. She's the one who sets the stage for many of the villain's plans to unfold, drawing in the heroes with the promise of false hope before they fall into traps they can't escape. However, one of the most interesting things about Mirage's character is how her loyalty starts to change over time. At first, she's completely dedicated to Syndrome and his cause, but as the story goes on, you can see cracks in that devotion.
Valuing life is not weakness.
Oh, hey, look, if you're talking about what happened in the containment unit, I had everything under control.
And disregarding it is not strength.
Her trust in him starts to break down when she realizes just how little he cares about anyone but himself. While she's indirectly involved in the deaths of many superheroes, since she's the one who helps trap them, there's a turning point where she just can't take it anymore. She starts to question her role in his cruel plans, especially when she sees how far he's willing to go to get revenge. A key moment that shows just how far she's been pushed is when Syndrome, in his obsessive pursuit of revenge against Mr. Incredible, orders missiles to be fired at a plane carrying Elastigirl and her children.
15 years too late.
No! In that moment, Mirage can see how messed up Syndrome really is. The real turning point for her came when Mr. Incredible, in a moment of intense anger and desperation, threatens to kill her. Instead of showing any concern or hesitation, Syndrome just mocks the situation.
Release me! Now!
Or what?
I'll crush her.
Oh, that sounds a little dark for you. Well, go ahead.
It'll be easy, like breaking a toothpick.
Show me.
That's when it really hits her. Syndrome doesn't care about her at all. In his eyes, she's just another pawn to be used and discarded. This is the moment that shatters her illusions about him. Before this, Mirage had convinced herself that her loyalty to Syndrome meant something, that she was an important part of his plans and maybe even his future. But when she realizes that he's willing to let her die without a second thought, it changes everything. She sees the truth. Syndrome is ruthless and sees people like her as disposable. This is the wake-up call that pushes her to finally make a choice. At that point, she decides to break away from him and side with the Incredibles, realizing that what she's been doing all along was wrong. It's important to note that Mirage wasn't exactly forced into siding with Syndrome. She chose to align herself with him out of her own desires for power and influence. But once she sees the darkness in his heart, she understands she can't stay loyal to someone who values nothing and no one. This marks her journey toward redemption, though it's clear that she's no innocent victim in this story. She has made her own mistakes, but she's now recognizing the value of life, family, and honor. Mirage's character arc is all about growth and self-discovery. It's about realizing that loyalty isn't something that should be blindly given, it has to be earned. She learns that the right path involves recognizing what truly matters, and sometimes, it takes seeing how far someone will go to hurt others before you realize that you've been following the wrong person all along. So even though her past actions aren't excusable, her decision to turn things around shows that she's capable of change and growth, and that redemption is always possible, no matter how lost you might feel.